Hey, what is up guys? This is Complex from Hackforums, and today we're going to be doing our very first application in Java. So our first step is going to be to open up the BlueJ JDK, or the IDE. So we're going to open up BlueJ. Once you have BlueJ open, you're going to want to create a new project. Let's go ahead and just call this one Hello World Java. Okay, now that we have this one open, we're going to click New Class. A class is just basically it's a Java file that holds source code just relevant to the class. So we're going to name this one just Hello World, like that. So then either you can double click or you can right click and choose Open Editor. That will lead you to this one. This is just a default, default code. To be honest, it just has sample methods and constructors. We can go ahead and just delete all of this. Alright, up here is a very important thing that pretty much everyone should know how to use. Okay, what these are called right here is Java doc. You create a Java doc by doing this. You do a /, 2 asterisks, and then it automatically creates like this. Basically, what this wants you to do is describe the class that you currently have, Hello World. So, let's write a description. Our description should probably be that should be simple enough. You're gonna want your name, so Complex Hackforums, and the version number or date. For dates, I prefer to use this system, 2014. Today is the 2nd, or today is the 9th of February. So we're gonna do it like this. This just makes it simple so you can go ahead and just like perform a binary search on every single. You can look up dates easily if you keep it in formats like this. It just helps you find your work later. So now that we have that set up, we're gonna just go ahead and put this up here. Anything within these, within the Java doc, actually does not get it. The compiler, when it's being compiled, just ignores this entire statement. The same thing goes for statements such as this. 2 / is a comment, and it allows you to put comments in your code. So let's say you were typing something like int test equals 0. Okay, so let's say you had that and you wanted to describe what test was. You could put a comment and be like, test is used for blah blah blah. Alright, that's basically what it is. Another way, if you have like a whole section of code that you don't want, let's say you have int a equals 0, int b equals 2, and you don't want those. An easy way, rather than just putting / in front of everyone to comment them out and exclude them from being compiled, you can just put a comment block, which goes like this. Pretend like you're waving, and this is your hand, and you're like, wow, look, I'm a penguin, and then you gotta catch the hand. Sorry, that's just a weird way I remember it. It's not a Java doc because there's no 2 asterisks. It is just a comment block. It comments out a block. Okay, so for our very first application, we're going to be doing Hello World. So right here we have public class Hello World. If you look, Hello World creates a .java file named Hello World. It's spelt exactly like it is here. You can only have one class per project that has the same name. For example, I cannot create another class that has the name Hello World because it already exists. Alright, so our first thing today is going to be a method. The method that we're going to be using for this is probably the most important method in Java. It's used for every single application that needs to be ran. So what it is public static void main, and then you have string, those little brackets, args. Okay, this is something you need to memorize. That's what I'm asking you to do. Just memorize this one line. Public static void main, parentheses, capital S, because it is case sensitive. Everything in Java is case sensitive. With brackets, space, args. Okay? Then after that, there are 2 styles that we can use. We can either put a semicolon, or whatever that is, freaking squiggly bracket right there, or to help you guys out, we should probably do it like this. you'll notice that in BlueJ it will automatically tab to where you need to have your line. This is a little messed up right here. It works fine, but sometimes there's a little bit of bugs in BlueJ. I prefer to use Eclipse, but for the sake of this tutorial, BlueJ will probably be a lot easier for people to understand, and it's just easier for me. It's what I learned with, and it will probably help you guys too. So now that we have that, we're going to start doing Hello World. So for Hello World, we want to start with this thing called system. We're going to have system right there, and then we're going to have system.out.println. That's not a 1, that's a 1. This is an L. And then we're going to put a parentheses. So now that you have this is going to print a line. In the parentheses you need a quotation. This tells that is everything between the quotations is what needs to be printed. If you just put something like 5 or 6, let's go ahead and close our method. Put something like 6, it would print 6. It would print the integer amount of 6. But we cannot put something like hello world in here without the quotations. See how it doesn't work? The only time you don't use quotations is when you're printing just single digit numbers or variables. So since today we're going to be printing an actual string, we're going to want to put quotations. So we're going to put quotations, put hello, and then world. Notice how it turns green. That's because our string is now closed with both quotations. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and compile. Now that we have it compiled, you come over here and you'll notice that there's no squigglies. See, when I type anything, it turns into that it needs to be compiled every time when you want to run it. So to run something in BlueJ, you're going to right click this and you're going to see our method. This is the method that we're going to use to run. So we have this. Don't touch any of this. We don't need to change any of that for the sake of this tutorial. And click OK. Notice how the console terminal window prints hello world. That's exactly what we wanted to do. It prints a line also, which means this entire line is now printed. So if you want to type something else, it would go on to the next line. Alright, so for next lesson we're going to be talking about the different parts of the method, what an actual method is, and what it does. I was going to explain it this video, but I was just getting lost on my words about it, and I'd rather do it next lesson. So anyways, that's all we have for today. A main thing about typing statements and methods is that you need to have a semicolon. Semicolon tells you that this line is not done. In some things, such as if statements, you don't need a semicolon until the very end of it. But just practice remembering your semicolons. You will forget them your first couple of tries. Trust me, it happened to me. Don't feel bad if you forget them, just remember them. You do need to remember this line, and that is your homework to remember this line. That's all you gotta do. So the thing about these brackets is just starts and ends the class. You gotta remember to put those, line them up, which is why we're doing it in this style instead of this style, so you are able to line it up. And methods also need to be lined up. So hope to see you guys back next week. Hope you enjoy the tutorial. When we create applications, it will generally be a voice tutorial to help out people, and some of it will be text tutorials. I am still debating on how I want to do this course, and hopefully I can hear your support on this. Alright, as always, have a nice day.